Good afternoon, Gumtown. My name is Jamal Thomas. I'm publisher of Gumtown Magazine. I'm reporting live downtown across from City Hall. Just leaving the City Council meeting, and we have a recap for you. The meeting was very interesting, and we asked you to share this video with the community. But the meeting was very interesting. First of all, the meeting opened up with prayer with Pastor Lee B. Walker, pastor of New Home Baptist Church out of Mount Meigs. The mayor gave his message. At first, Anthony and Fred Brock, the Brock brothers, were recognized as community heroes for all their great work with Valiant Cross Academy. So shout out to the Brock brothers. Okay, in the mayor's report, our financial update for July 2021. Our sales tax, there's a positive growth rate with our sales tax. It's up about 14% since last year. With the lodging tax, it's a positive growth rate, but however, since last month, it dropped a little bit. But however, overall, with the positive growth rate, small businesses are benefiting from the lodging tax. And Mayor said he expects to break even by the end of the fiscal year. With the gas tax, it's the same positive growth. Alcohol, they're waiting for more numbers to come in so they can validate the numbers. But however, since last month, there was a negative growth rate. The 2022 budget will be discussed at the next City Council meeting, August 17th. So if you can, come. If not, we're going to talk about that. The COVID-19 update. There is not a mask ordinance. However, it's a mask advisory. Okay, there's been a surge of cases here in Alabama and in Montgomery. The cases went up 131%. Hospitalizations went up 210%. And there were 5 deaths in the last 2 weeks. And there's an average about 67 new cases per day. So the mayor is encouraging everyone to get vaccinated. And like I said, he did issue an indoor mask advisory. It's not an ordinance, it's an advisory. It's not a mandate, it's an advisory. He's encouraging everyone to wear a mask, be proactive. Many businesses have already implemented this, and it makes sense to take these steps so we won't go to a complete shutdown. The businesses can still remain open. Okay, there was supposed to be some discussions with some issues with the extended stay studio on Chestnut Street by Ann Street. No one showed up, so that's going to be carried over to the next meeting. Councilor R.G. Graham, she wanted to talk about some issues at the Superstore number 1 on 1015 Mobile Road. No one showed up, so that's going to be carried over to the next meeting. Now, it was a show cause hearing. This is the juicy stuff with Sings Market. The gas station on Willie Road where the young man was shot and killed there, and it was still open. And you know how family members have been protesting that the business be closed due to what happened and other things that has been going on there. But I know the city attorney mentioned that it's an ongoing criminal investigation, so they can't really talk about what happened with the shooting there. But family members want to know, why is the store still open? If it happened at a club, you will close the club. When shootings happen at the club, you close the clubs. But a shooting happened at this gas station, it's still open. And it was reported that that gas station received 43 calls since January. And Councilor Marsha Johnson, she mentioned that we closed the club, so what about businesses? And the city attorney said they really can't move forward with that because they don't know about any public safety issues or not. Jamel Brown, he spoke on behalf of the community, and he said that, a lot of discrimination and racism takes place at Sings Market. He said that the owner is racist. He makes racist comments to black customers. And Jamel also mentioned that, for him to be a racist, he has the audacity to have a black attorney represent him. He mentioned that the owner is a racist and a bigot, and him and Jim Wright had us change the words. A lot of us changed the words. Jim Wright was just basically telling him, well, just don't shop there, don't support the business. And Jamel Brown was like, what do you mean? This is a racist, so you gonna allow a business that's operated by a racist still remain open? Does this represent Montgomery? Are you representing Montgomery by letting a person such as him still operate a business, still be racist towards people? And all Jen Wright just had to say, your time is up, just don't shop there. And Jamel mentioned like, hey, y'all closed Empire, so does this represent Montgomery? So, you know, you can't be this way to one entity and another way to another entity. Counselor Audrey Graham asked about the calls, who made the calls, and the interim chief reported that there were 13 reports of suspicious calls. So that made Counselor Audrey Graham say, you know, something strange about it. What is something strange about, what is suspicious about getting gas? You know, you want people to come support your business, but you say they look suspicious when they come support. And Audrey Graham, you know, she recommended that, you know, this is creating a lot of tension in the neighborhood. You know, nothing is being resolved. You got a community going against him. Family members are ready to retaliate and do what they need to do, or whatever. So Audrey Graham, along with Marsha Johnson, they recommended that, you know, close them down for a while, at least 2 weeks, to help bring down the tension, to really help with some community relations. Marsha Johnson also mentioned that, you know, that gas station had 43 calls since January. It doesn't make sense. So the owner of Scenes Market, his attorney was defending him. He said, you know, the shooting, all these incidents and all these calls didn't have nothing to do with the shooting. Y'all need to prove the dates. What dates were these calls? What were these incidents? These incidents are not related to the shooting. Y'all can't prove these incidents not related to the shooting, so his business should not be closed. So Aronde Mitchell, Councilman Aronde Mitchell, stepped up and told him yes, we do have other incidents. Aronde Mitchell explained that, Councilor Aronde Mitchell explained that, hey, I've been getting calls from my constituents about this gas station. So it's a lot of things other than the shooting that is leading up to why this man's business should either be closed or something should be happening to it. So it was a councilor vote. There were 3 councilors, Brantley Lyons and Clay McKinnis, were absent. So 3 councilors voted to revoke the business license. 3 councilors were against it and wanted them to keep it open. 1 councilor abstained their vote. So with this, the motion failed. So Scenes Market will remain open. Okay. The Chamber of Commerce, it was unanimous for them to give a resolution to develop a plan to rehabilitate and bring some development to the west side by I-65, by the truck stop on the West Boulevard. They want to do some improvement within a 4 to 5 mile radius. So the Chamber of Commerce is to come back with a development plan. Can't they get the records like they do for the clubs then to see what kind of calls they were? I'm not going to say yes, I'm not going to say no, but I do know out of the 43 calls, 13 of them calls were of suspicious people. If that was the case, many businesses would be closed. That's correct. It's not racist or hate crime. I thank you for my memory, but I take notes. Okay. Going back now, Councilman Aronde Mitchell and I think C.C. Calhoun had some in his district. There were issues with some apartment complexes because there are a lot of things happening in the apartment complexes with crime and shooting and drugs and violence. The apartment complexes on the chopping block were Stonebridge Apartments, South Mall Apartments, townhomes at Montgomery, the Oak Apartments, and Garden Grove Apartments. Stonebridge Apartments were there, representatives there. They said that they did an audit to make sure, you know, if the residents who were on the lease actually stayed there. They're updating security cameras. They're going to fix a fence. And they have 49 vacancies. Townhomes at Montgomery and the Oak Apartments, a representative was there for them because they both are under the same ownership. She said security officers ride through the property. They have 4 guys who work in security who stay on the property. They just recently installed some cameras at the entrances. She doesn't know when the new security cameras will be installed, and no management stays on the property. Now this is the big thing. Garden Grove Apartments. That's formerly known as the Palisade and Jackson Square. Now, that apartment complex, and this was Councilor C.C. Calhoun's concern, that apartment complex doesn't have a business license. So it's like, how are they able to collect rent from tenants and run a business of an apartment community and not have a business license? They have no business license, so how they can collect rent, and what type of liability is this on the city? People are paying rent, and what happens? They don't have a business license, so what liability will it bring on the city? So, and Garden Grove Apartments isn't the only apartment complex that doesn't have a business license that is collecting rent. There is going to be a new restaurant coming to East Chase called Bad Daddy's Burger Bar. They applied for a liquor license and they got it. A liquor store on Coliseum Boulevard is opening up. It was a unanimous vote to give them their liquor license. The Family Dollar on the Eastern Boulevard, they wanted to sell beer and wine. They got approved for that. It was a resolution appointing Alicia Jackson to the Community Action Committee by Councilor Calhoun, replacing Johnny Sankey. That went through. Now, after the meeting, there were some public comments. There was a nonprofit organization, SOAR, Successful Outcomes, Achievements Ready. They focus on stopping youth violence before it starts, and they want support from the city. A resident of Montgomery, a 91-year-old resident who lives in the North Pass neighborhood. She was raising some concerns about just the plight in the community and all the eyesores. Another lady spoke. She had some concerns about the police department. She had an incident where she was jumped at Walmart and an off-duty guard was present, and the people who assaulted her had knives and everything, but they still were able to be let go. Her car was stolen on the 30th. The person who stole it is still out. It's been recovered, but the person who stole it is still out and about, walking the streets, and she wants to know why they haven't been arrested. Chief Harris explained that they are having an investigation right now with the incident on Ann Street. They're working with other agencies because the people who assaulted the girl, they're outside of the jurisdiction. And the lady said she even got a pistol permit because the police is taking too long, so she got a pistol permit on her own. So that's that with that. A resident complained on Montgomery's west side on Hill Street. That's in the Western Hills community. A lot of people speed on that street. It's a speed trap. People are speeding. People are racing. So that's a safety concern with his, and he has children. So that's the city council meeting. Please share this video. Once again, Scenes Market is still open. We have some apartment complex communities that don't have a business license. Please share this video. That's why it's so important. And these are your elected officials. So we have elections coming up probably next year or the year after, so keep that in mind too. Please share this video. Follow Gumptown Magazine. We're on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Visit our website, www.gumptownmag.com. We have an issue coming out in September. We would like for you to advertise. We can be reached at 334-301-7371. 334-301-7371. This city council update is brought to you by Serious Injury Law Group. They specialize in motorcycle accidents, big commercial vehicle accidents, medical malpractice, nursing home abuse, and any other personal injury. You can reach them at 334-900-0000. That's 334-900-0000. Gumptown, we be everywhere.